You wanna get away, you better get in line. Won't go another day of wasting any time. I've got a lot to say, can't hold it in this time. Got no filter, I got no filter.
Hey everybody, how we doing? John Anthony, Chairshot Sports. Thank you so much for joining me. I know usually you see me with some other people around. Jess is around, Mike, but I guess it's just me tonight. So thank you so much for joining me on this special edition of Chairshot Sports. I want to talk about the amazing pay-per-view that we have coming up tonight, TNA NXT Genesis. This pay-per-view looks like it is going to be setting such a great foundation for this company moving forward for 2025 and also for a couple of years to come. Obviously, unless you live under a rock and you're not, and you're a wrestling fan, you must have heard about TNA and WWE NXT specifically signing a multi-year partnership, which I think is amazing for both brands. I said it earlier, halfway through last year in 2024, that NXT was going to be a mobile third brand, and that's come to fruition. Every time you're seeing on Tuesday nights, they're in Atlanta, they're in Indianapolis, they're in different places, they're on the road, they're in Texas, everywhere, going to the smaller venues, getting it done, filling up arenas. Because the third brand is just awesome, and the roster that they have for men and for women is great, and I think that can only pay dividends to a company right now like TNA that has an amazing up-and-coming roster that, hey, they'd be awesome on WWE television, right? Whether it be Raw, whether it be SmackDown, whether it be NXT, but guess what? They're on TNA, and TNA needs that place and needs that energy to flourish. They just need the proper light, the proper nutrition, and I think they can get that from NXT, and overall, the WWE TKO machine can help TNA build that and get them into bigger arenas as they do more pay-per-views and have more house shows and get on the road a little bit more. So with that being said, I think there's a lot of great matches that are coming up tonight on pay-per-view. You can catch Genesis at 8 p.m. on pay-per-view and also on TNA Plus as well. A lot of good grudge matches. I apologize. Grudge matches and some awesome title matches as well. A lot of people retaining, and some definitely people are going to be winning some gold walking out of that Genesis starting the new year off right. So let's get into it, guys. They're going to have the kickoff to Genesis at 7 p.m., which is being hosted by good friends of the show, Busted Open, which is awesome to see and hear. Frankie Kazarian, Leon Slater. Leon Slater's hit the scene hard. He's an awesome up-and-coming guy. Kind of reminds me of my boy Bouncy over at NXT. Kind of, I see a lot of similarities, right? But Kazarian's the king, baby. The man has been there since day one. I remember buying the pay-per-views on Wednesday nights, watching this stuff go on. Kazarian in there in tag teams and just getting it done, man. But with that being said, Kazarian also knows his role in TNA right now. He's had his fun. He's had his glamour. He's had the gold. He's had his time in the spotlight, right? His goal is to build the future stars of this brand. And that's why I think on the kickoff show, I think you're going to see Leon get a win here. I think it's going to be clean. I think it's going to be a good match. Nice clean 1, 2, 3 for Leon going over on Kaz. But I think it just needs to happen, right? You got to build these guys up. And if you're taking someone like him down, right? Obviously, you can do some cool things down the road, whether you're going for tag belts or going for gold or a mid-card belt somewhere in TNA, or let's say they transfer him over to NXT as well. And that's the cool thing, too, while we're still talking about the pre-show before we get into the whole pay-per-view. I love how obviously it's a partnership, right? I love that. I want to keep them still separate. I don't want to have them on the show. I said this before when they were doing the crossovers with Jordan, with Hendry. Still keep them separate a little bit. I don't want to have all the entities on both shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But I think it's kind of funny that they threw the NXT logo up on the TNA Genesis poster. So that means I don't know what that really means. Could we see Shawn Michaels make an appearance? Could we see Oba Femi make an appearance? Right? Could we see Julia make an appearance? That's going to be wild to see and see how all that kind of gets together, marinates, and kind of I guess we'll see what happens when all of them kind of get together in the one spot. So, all right, so cool. Kickoff is done. 8 o'clock is going to be here. We're just going to go down the list, no particular order, just talking about kind of the matches where I see them going down and kind of give you the reasoning why. And hopefully we go clean 9-0 tonight when we watch Genesis. So first match, Josh Alexander, Mike Santana. This grudge match has been gritty. It's been ugly. It's been so good to watch. The Northern Armory has gotten involved in a lot of matches with Mike Santana. Obviously, Josh Alexander, amazing wrestler, can definitely go. Santana, ever since came out of AEW over to TNA, it's been great to see the work that he's done as a singles competitor, kind of getting away from the LAX mantra. Santana's been taking some big L's since he's been here, the big feuds that he's had in TNA. Alexander, there are rumblings that his contract is up February 1st. There are rumblings that he might jump over to WWE. And that's the one. Then again, that's the other kind of cool thing about this too. They're not really jumping to a different, enemy brand, right? WWE's like, listen, you got a lot of cool people over here, but if they want to come play with us for a while, obviously we'll put them on our TV, we'll send them a contract, but we'll still kind of play around with it on TNA and kind of do this whole, not transfer portal, but just jumping ship to the WWE. But it's all good, it's all fair game, and it's all in good sport because they're obviously companies that work together. So I see Santana coming out here. Also, it's an I Quit match too. Alexander can go, but Santana, I feel like, is just that gritty, tough character, just that guy who can get it done and go the extra mile to make Josh Alexander quit. I'm sure the Northern Armory is going to get involved, but I think that's what we want to happen. Santana's going to neutralize them. Maybe someone else comes down to assist Santana, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think Mike kind of clears house, does something to Josh, and kind of gets him down, whether it be in a hold, whether it be using some other nefarious tactic to kind of make him say, I quit. But that being said, Mike Santana is going to walk away getting a W here, making Alexander say, I quit, and winning the match in Genesis. Then we have one of our first title matches. We have Spitfire taking on Ash and Heather by Elegance. This is for the TNA Knockout Tag titles. I was down a little bit on Ash by Elegance, man. I was like, it's weird. I used to love. I mean, it was AKA Dana Brooke in WWE. Huge fan from what she was to what she became before she left. What she's done in TNA, kind of reinventing herself. I really like that, and obviously now getting Heather with her as well is great. Spitfire are hardcore, in your face, smash mouth, women that will kick the hell out of you, kick your teeth down your throat, and make you like it. But also I've been watching the Ash and the Heather now by Elegance, and it's one of those things where Spitfire's had a long run. I believe they're going on 7 or 8 months as tag champions. Genesis, I feel like, is a new beginning. You want to get now with this partnership with WWE NXT. Maybe some of these champions might transition into the Tuesday nights, popping in. Someone from Tuesday night might pop in on Thursdays. So you got to kind of look at that as well. I think it plays a little bit into it when we're sitting here doing these predictions about what the pay-per-views might hold for us. I think it's going to be a hell of a match. The Concierge could get involved. Could be something on the outside. I don't know. Could be. But I think tonight's tonight. I think Ash and Heather by Elegance become your new TNA Knockout Tag Team Champions. Spitfire, I'm sure we'll run it back on a Thursday night, maybe in the next pay-per-view after that. But I think I think Ash has done a well enough job with this character, and also bringing now Heather along with her as well. I think to see those two as champions, and kind of, obviously they have natural heel heat, so to have them as have some heel champions would be good as well. So it'd be cool to see that Ash and Heather by Elegance walking out the TNA Knockout Women's Champions. All right, moving on from that. Next we have Moose and Ace Austin for the X Division title. This match is gonna slap. Ace Austin is phenomenal in that ring. And shout out again, we've said it before, to Chris Bay. Hopefully he's a speedy recovery, and we get to see him in the middle of a ring doing what he does best and what he loves to do. Hopefully sooner than later. I like the angle. Moose has the belt, right? X Division, you would think it's about a weight class. Ace has talked about this. It's not about weight. It's kind of about just you kind of imposing your will, being a bully. taking a tag belt, a belt. I'm sorry, that is meant obviously not for little dudes, but it's kind of like the cruiserweight division, right? Ace Austin is a former X Division champion, so he knows what it takes and knows what it tastes like to have that gold. I gotta go with Ace Austin, and I'll talk about what's gonna happen with Moose as we go down, as we get to the bottom of the card, or top of the card, I should say. I think Ace Austin wins one. I think it's one of those things where he kind of dedicates it to Chris Bay. So I think that's kind of a big thing. First off, second off, I think it needs to go back to someone like Ace Austin, kind of have the not mid carders, but someone like Moose holding the X Division, man. That's like, come on, what are we doing? Obviously, you're holding it. You're just being a bully because you can, beat the hell out of all the little people. You throw them out of the ring over the top rope and everything like that. So I think Ace Austin gets the W here, takes it off of Moose, and Moose is gonna move himself back into the TNA Heavyweight Championship picture. I think somewhere in the next sooner than later in the next first maybe 4 or 5 months, I think we're going to see a system breakup. I mean, it's been a long time. One of the best factions going in TNA. I just feel like before you get too stale, maybe break it up, maybe take a break from each other. Maybe do one of these things where this isn't goodbye, but I got to go do my thing on my own, and these guys got to go do their thing on their own. Like Moose is in his own match. The system have their own tag match, later in the card. So they're kind of doing already their kind of own thing. So with that being said, Ace Austin gets the win. I think the match is going to slap. I think it's going to be great. Moose, for as big as he is, can do a lot of cool stuff off the rope, aerially, outside the ring. So it's going to be great. Great X Division match. But Ace Austin, boom, the new X Division champion walking out of Genesis. Then we have a match. I don't know how brutal it can actually get. It's just signed this past Thursday on TNA, if you watched. Tessa Blanchard making her return to wrestling in TNA, taking on Jordynne Grace, the Juggernaut. These two women are some of the toughest, just in your face, smash mouth, kick the shit out of you women in the division, in that company. Okay, there's a lot of them, but those two at the top. If there's one in 1A, it's those two, and you can debate who gets the first spot. But I'm telling you right now, this match is gonna slap, hit, punch. They're gonna bleed. I guarantee you, someone's gonna bleed. Both women can go. It's such a breath of fresh air to see Tessa back in a ring. Obviously, amid all the controversy, everything that happened. Aside from all that, wrestling-wise, it's great to see her back. And my hope is, and obviously I know WWE is very, very cautious of who they look at, who they talk to, as far as goes for comments. If we're talking about comments, listen, if you're not going to touch Tessa Blanchard, what's Hulk Hogan doing in your arena? Sorry, Paul. I'm serious. Like, if there's a reason why you weren't bringing Tessa Blanchard in, for whatever reason, put her ass in NXT, but you're going to have Hulk Hogan come out and talk about his beer, and you're worried about some comments being made by that wrestler, same energy. But I think this is good. TNA is a good place for her. Show what she can do. WWE can see that. Then obviously she can cross over to NXT, do some things there. I think you're going to see, if I had to guess, I think you're going to see a lot more things being done with the women. NXT doesn't have, WWE has one set of women's tag belts, right? NXT doesn't have their own. The Meta Girls are going to be going this upcoming Tuesday for the tag championships. Speaking of that, but it would be cool to see the TNA knockouts kind of going to NXT. If some women from NXT were to win those belts, they can go over to Thursday nights, hold them on NXT. So you're like, oh, I got to tune in Thursday, see what's going on with that. That kind of thing. You know what I mean? So that would be kind of cool. I don't think the men's, you're really going to see the TNA World Heavyweight or the NXT championship kind of change too much. I think you might see the women play around a little bit more with that. And for nothing other than just the men have plenty of belts where they are. You know what I mean? The women kind of have, just like I said, those tag belts. NXT doesn't really have a set. So you can kind of use the TNA knockouts to get them over there and kind of get some interest as far as that. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe so. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I think Tessa Blanchard ends up making some kind of appearance in NXT at some point down the road. Very excited for that. And eventually I hope she comes on full board to WWE because I think she'd be great on Raw or SmackDown. You put her in a ring with Rhea Ripley. Oh, you put her in a ring with Charlotte Flair. Oh, Tiffany Stratton, Tiffy time, baby. Oh, the matches Tessa Blanchard could have with some of the women that are in WWE right now is amazing and it needs to happen. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. That's down the road. Let's focus on this match. This is tough. But as over as Jordan is, and Tess obviously making it, she's been away for a long time. So a lot of people are probably tuning in if they are watching this, like, who's Tessa Blanchard? What are you doing? If you're Googling her, you're going, whoa, oh, what happened? She's back in wrestling now. Okay, cool. Tessa gets the win here. Hear me out. Gets the win. I guess it's kind of getting one of these narratives of what woman runs TNA, right? Obviously it's gonna go to Slamovich Rosemary match forever. Who wins that? I'm sure whoever wins this match is gonna step up to her next Thursday on TNA, on Impact. So I think it's Tessa because Jordan, I think, is going to be involved in the Royal Rumble for WWE. So I think she's got that going. I think she's going to be involved in NXT a little bit now, maybe with Julia, Stephanie there. I think it's a lot of new people that Jordan kind of go over and jump over there and help out a little bit with the ratings for them. And then kind of let Tessa do her thing with the winner of the TNA Knockouts Championship match. So, yeah, Tessa gets the win here. She needs it more. Jordan's going to be fine taking an L, especially if Tessa does it, like, nefariously and does something cheating-wise and anything like that. If it's not square 1, 2, 3, I think Jordan's fine coming out of that. And then Tessa needs this W. I think she needs a W coming out. A lot of people tuning in don't know who she is, and it's been a long time. She comes in like this. The way she's been beating the hell out of Jordan, just like coming up from behind, just sneak attacking her for the past 3 weeks has been amazing. But I think, yeah, you give her a W here. You kind of let her be the woman of TNA, and then I'm sure her and Jordan will get down the road, probably for the belt at some point. One of them will be holding. I'm sure the other will want to challenge the other. So that'll be cool. So back to championship matches. The Hardys, the Rascals, the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. The Tag World Heavyweight Championship. This is generational, man. This is tough. And again, it's like I just said, like the Hardys can afford a loss here. The Rascals could really use a win. Like they were great. I know they did the breakup angle on NXT, and West kind of doing his own thing, which is great. It kind of left the other two just like, yeah, well, we're on TNA, and then obviously they had a feud on NXT and all this other stuff. And I don't know. I feel like the Rascals are gonna win it. I don't know why. There's something in my gut saying that like the Hardys know we can always win these back 4 months from now. Like it's TNA. Like not nothing against TNA, but TNA does a lot more title changes than WWE. So like if they give it up to the Rascals, they can win it back in like 4 months at some fatal 4-way where the Rascals don't have to get pinned or something like that. But the Hardys, to get a rub from the Hardys, and as much as they've been doing these like these interviews in the back about you're our inspiration, this and that, and it's just wild to get your hands on your idols and for the belts. In such a talk about a feel good moment for the Rascals too. Have come so far as a group and especially as a tag team in TNA. I think that would be awesome. And also you can also bring them over to NXT as tag champions. Maybe get involved with West somehow. Maybe West gets such partner, challenges them for the tag belts. Again, I'm just trying to see it from all angles because I think the NXT TNA partnership does so much for both brands, right? NXT being a third brand, right? Its own brand, but its third brand of WWE, and TNA just being a growing brand that needs the help of them, kind of like I said, to flourish and get the exposure and the eyes on. And again, it's Genesis. It's a new year, and with this new signing that they have with the new partnership, I think you want to see some new stuff, right? New faces. Right, you don't want everyone knows about the Hardys. You want the Rascals. You know what I mean? Everyone knows for Spitfire. They've been the champions for most of 2024. Ash and Heather I Elegance. Ash is cool. She used to be AKA Dana Brooke in WWE. You know what I mean? Like you do those kind of things. So I think that's where they're kind of doing these. Heading into obviously you have a lot of the pay-per-views coming up down the road. Well, we can give the belts back and give them to other people, but I think the Rascals here get this win and realize the boyhood dream against their idols in a generational match against the Hardys. Get you a little feel-good moment in the ring with the hugging and the crying and all that good stuff. So that's why I have winning the tag belts. Eric Young and Macklin taking on the System. To go with what I was saying earlier with Moose losing to Austin, right, for the X Division belt, I got to go with Macklin and Eric Young here. Only because the System needs to lose. Moose needs to lose. Where we have this, like, maybe they do maybe this upcoming Thursday they do a state of the System. They did one of those, I think, 3 months ago. I think they did one. You do a state of this, and maybe they're like, listen, I think we need to all go our separate ways and figure something out because this isn't working. Like, we have no gold now. You know what I mean? Like, we used to have all the gold. Now we have no gold. So, with that being said, Eric Young and Macklin get it. They get the win here. I think the match is going to be awesome. These 4 guys are going to be great. I think you're going to see it all grappling, aerial, outside, inside the ring, everywhere. I think you're going to see a really, really good grappling tactical match. But yeah, System's going to take an L here, and I think it kind of leads to the implosion and the kind of the disevolving of the System for a little bit. Come back together later on, but for a little bit, they kind of just go their own way. All right, so we have the Knockout Women's Champion, the Women's Knockout Championship, however you want to say it. Masha Slamovich, Rosemary, in a Clockwork Orange House of Fun match. This is inspired by Raven. Nice to see Raven, by the way. Nice to see a shout out from Raven too, helping out Rosemary. I feel like this is going to be very much likened to a Bray Wyatt match, to a Funhouse match. I think it's going to be a lot of cool cutscenes, a lot of cool stuff. I think Rosemary's going to go wild. And I love the Rosemary character. I love when she was with Wendy Chu in NXT. They need to keep that energy and keep that going, by the way. Kind of died out a little bit. Would have loved to see Wendy Chu and her get some tag belt action at some point. But at the end of the day, Slamovich is going to win this match. When she just won the title, I don't think she's giving it up anytime soon. Probably in a couple months to, I'm sure a talented contender. Maybe it's Tessa Blanchard. I don't know. Maybe she goes to NXT and challenges for the women's belt over there. You know what I mean? So a lot of stuff could happen. But I think the match is going to be awesome. I think it's going to be fun. Very excited to see it. But Slamovich walks out. You're still women's TNA Knockouts champion. Yeah. So with that being said, the main event, guys. Nick Nemeth, a.k.a. Dolph Ziggler, Joe Hendry, the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. So let me get it out of the way first and give you my prediction. I think I've made the prediction a lot of other times and a lot of other shows where he's been involved with NXT, NXT, TNA. The iron is hot. It's not white hot anymore. It's hot. And I think TNA knows that. So I think this is finally the time. Tonight we're finally going to see Joe Hendry become victorious and win the TNA World Championship, which one he's due. I mean, the man was going from being a lawyer over on WWE as an extra to being a bona fide superstar on TNA. Just people singing his song. The man's song was #1, top on the charts. What are we doing? Come on. Appeared on NXT. That was awesome. The crowd went through the roof. The camera was shaking when the music hit. But let me tell you how it's going to happen. It's Genesis. It's a new beginning, right? You think when they're going to zig, they zag. Joe Hendry's going to win the belt. And I'm sure Nick Nemeth's brother is going to get involved. The Hollywood hunk will come down to the ring, make himself known, doing some stuff, right? Now, what has he been saying about Joe Hendry? What has he been saying? He's a snake, right? He's two-faced. He's a liar. He's all about himself. Pretty much just call him a narcissist, right? Then something clicked for me on Thursday night when I was watching TNA. They showed the clip at Bound for Glory when JBL was involved. And took off pretty much everyone's head, just clotheslining everybody, right? You can't really hear from him after that. And then, for those of you that watch the Raw Rebound, or the Raw Rundown, I apologize. JBL is going to be on Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. So, what better way to get people to tune in to TNA, or even have this man, or even have Joe Hendry show up on NXT, or even, hell, bring him on Monday night. Let's go nuts. Let's go nuts. Let's bring him on Netflix. What better way than to have Joe Hendry turn heel in the match? So you get the double switch, right? Double switch. Hendry goes to heel. Nemeth automatically will go to face. JBL comes down and interferes, and he was in cahoots with Hendry the whole time. Book it. Makes perfect sense. And now JBL is going to appear on Monday night? What the hell is that? You can't get a better coincidence. He's on tomorrow night, and literally the Genesis is tonight. JBL doesn't want to do a lot of stuff as far as like schedules and stuff like that. Why not have him show up down in NXT with Joe Hendry? Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. It just clicked at me. Like, I was watching the clip and I'm writing it down, of course. I'm like, okay, yeah. They're like, wait a minute. No, that's too easy. There's no way WWE left the breadcrumbs that close to have them on the next night after Genesis and then show the clip on Thursday night. So Nemeth, Henry walks away. The new Joe Hendry walks away. New TNA World Champion with the help of JBL as his now new manager, and Hendry is heel for a decent amount of 2025. And it goes to show that everything they said about him, Snake being out for him, and it makes sense, right? He was never winning the big one. The vignettes kind of like aided to that. They were kind of talking about, I needed this one, and I realized that this was my last shot. He's a man. He's a man without there is no tomorrow, right? He's a man without a cause. He needs the help. He needs to win at any cost whatsoever. And I think that's where JBL comes in. So that's very, very exciting. I'm very excited for that. And I'm hoping this comes to fruition, man. Because I'm be like, literally, everyone needs to bookmark this and watch this. And no, I talked about it like 5, 6, 7 hours before the show happened. So guys, that's how I see it going down. I think Genesis is going to be an amazing pay-per-view to start off the new TNA era. Now, obviously, with WWE, NXT, and their multi-year partnership. And who's to say too? Who knows who might show up from NXT? Maybe the Rascals. Maybe Wesley shows up. Maybe, like I said, maybe Owen shows up. You never know. Who knows who might show up and do something? Maybe Ethan Page shows up. That would be wild. Ethan Page? What? But yeah, I think it's going to be great 2025 for both. I think NXT is going to keep rising to the heights that they found in 2024 and just keep smashing records and ceilings. And I think TNA is really going to start finding some footing. And hopefully by the end of this year, they're able to kind of get their own TV deal and kind of get off the app and kind of have their own stuff where they can be seen on a weekly basis. Because I know they deserve it. The talent deserves it. That company has been tried and true for so long. God, since I was a teenager watching this, we're talking like 20-something years. So it's they stayed around this long, right? I mean, why not give them their just due, right? Why not? So with that being said, guys, you can catch TNA Genesis, TNA NXT Genesis on pay-per-view and also on TNA Plus at 8 p.m. Starting at 7 o'clock with Countdown to Genesis, but also starting at 8 o'clock is the actual Genesis pay-per-view. And for those of you that are watching this, have not seen me before, guys, I'm John Anthony. This is Chairshot Sports, part of the Chairshot Media Group. We are on pretty much every day of the week. Myself, Jesse B, Mike, and Vinny with a whole bunch of variety of shows about wrestling and stuff like that. Great interviews, great prediction shows, and everything under the sun. So please shoot me a like, shoot me a subscribe, and hit that bell just for notifications whenever we're dropping a new episode. So guys, I appreciate it. It's been a blast. Thank you so much for taking a little bit of time and talking about this. And I will see you guys Monday night for the Raw Rundown.